There's never been an American-born pope. Is this the moment?
I do think one of the dark horses, and I think unfortunately he's one of the most progressive, is Cardinal Prevost. I don't think he's getting enough play. He is certainly on the short list as being, and I think it's pretty shocking given the how the contempt they hold the American church. The American church gives so much money, they're afraid it has too much power. So they've never really wanted to have an American pope. But my understanding is Prevost is one of the ones closest to Francis ideologically. He's also had tremendous experience in Latin America, and so he's one of the ones on the short list. I'm a big believer that Cardinal Sarah from Africa would be a perfect selection right now for this moment in the church. But I will tell everybody this is anybody's game right now between Parolin, one of the traditionalists. You have no earthly idea how this is going to turn out. That's why I think this run up is so important, and it's interesting that it's ironic. It's going to take place. It's going to kick off, I think, on the either the day of or the day before the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe. So
It actually happened on the day of victory in Europe, which is really prescient. I mean, say what you will about Steve Bannon, but that man is not stupid, and he correctly predicted what happened, and actually the day that it happened too. And one thing that is interesting about what's happening right now is that MAGA, as you can tell here, does not like this new pope at all. There's been a total backlash. It seems as though we are on the verge of MAGA going to war on this new pope. But JVL from the Bulwark actually had a couple of really good ideas that I wanted to share with you. One was that it's not about us. Do not for one second think this is about us. The College of Cardinals does not care about U.S. politics. Okay, fair enough. But then he also goes on to say, because you might remember just in that previous clip, JD Vance, Steve Bannon said that the church typically never wanted an American pope because we have too much power as it is. Well, JVL had a really good point about maybe it is about us a little bit, but not in the way that people are thinking. I expected to see an African pope in my lifetime and never expected to see an American pope. Why? Because the Vatican is dominated by Europeans and they are deeply suspicious of America and American Catholics. To them, we are toddlers with shotguns. It's obvious to the people of Canada, who just elected a prime minister, exclusively on the grounds that the American century was over. It's obvious to the Chinese, who are planning to step into the vacuum and establish their new world order. It's obvious to our European allies, who are now making plans for a future in which America is toothless, lazy, and impotent. And maybe, just maybe, this reality was obvious to the College of Cardinals too. Maybe they looked at America and realized it was no longer a colossus bestriding the globe, no longer exceptional, not just in decline, but deluded about its reality. Something to think about. Donald Trump, who is declining from reality, was asked by a reporter, do you regret the moment that you posted an image of yourself on social media dressed as the Pope?
Who are you guys on it?
Do you regret the image of yourself posted on social media dressed as the Pope?
What's next?
Mr. President, are you
Laura Loomer said, this is a woke Marxist Pope. I wish that were true. Megyn Kelly, there's so many reactions. Megyn Kelly went on to say, is it too much to hope that some 20-year-old ran the new Pope's X account and never looked at it? The reason why she's saying that is because the Pope has tweeted a lot of things that are, support Christianity and the Christian beliefs, and MAGA is at odds with it. And so MAGA is having to have a bit of a self-reflection as like, why is this new Pope believing everything we're against, like immigrant rights, treating the most unfortunate among us as fortunately as possible. There's just so many insane reactions. This is a MAGA influencer, Joey Manorino, who I don't think is gay, but is... Oh, I'll let you make the decisions for yourself. So the new Pope has recently attacked J.D. Vance, shown solidarity with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and begged Trump to open borders like Biden had them. This guy is worse than Francis. goes on to say, get ready because the left is about to have a major ally in their corner with this Pope. You need to be ready with the facts to stand against the stupid. Oh, okay. Don't show that Hussein. That's just him promoting his newsletter. Okay. He also wanted to say, okay, this new Pope is a liberal piece of shit. We're fucked. I wish that were true. Mike Cernovich, who's a white racist, said, sorry, Catholics, this new Pope is an open borders globalist. He will be pushing for abortion soon. This isn't a guess. You can scroll his X account and see what he's been up to. Yeah, he retweeted Chris Murphy, who said that we need to do something about guns. He retweeted someone that said Trump and Bukele use Oval to Fed to list deportation of a U.S. resident. Oh, when the Salvadorian president went to the Oval Office, he denounced that. And yeah, he's definitely. That's what's interesting about all this is it's not like no one should be surprised that the Pope thinks that, I don't know, we should control guns and that immigrants should have rights. The poor should be taken care of. I know that's at odds with a lot of what Donald Trump and MAGA believes, but in case you're wondering why they picked an American to be a pope for the first time ever, he's a woke, never Trumper liberal. That's why. Here he is, sharing why Donald Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric is so problematic. Another MAGA influencer said the new pope suffers from the woke mind virus. Very sad news. This virus didn't escape anyone. And then Laura Loomer also wanted to say, meet the new American Pope. Of course, he's anti-MAGA and woke. Another open borders Pope. Gross. Charlie Kirk said this.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I mean, look, not everyone was doing it in 2020. Well, not us, but Mr. Prevost, the new Pope, was retweeting George Floyd propaganda. But that is what it is, whatever. So, again, I'm not Catholic, so you guys can sort this out amongst yourselves. Let's talk about the American aspect of this. I'll start with you, Frank. Frank, what do you think this will mean for the country, for our nation that we love, to have a Pope from America? He's from America, but he served in Peru. But he will be known as the American Pope. And also just, is there something else going on here? Why they would go out of their way to choose an American Pope, Frank?
That's the most surprising element of this to me. And I think that we can, first of all, say, one of my concerns, our concerns with Pope Francis was he didn't seem to understand or appreciate what was going on here in America, our American politics, certainly. And, not to say that this is necessarily going to be a, pro-Trump Pope. But I have the hope that, at least coming from more of a familiarity with America, he will be able to work better with the Trump administration than Pope Francis did.
I hope that's not true, but it's so funny they want to make this all about politics. This is outside of politics, and that's what I think confuses and enrages them the most, is that this is something they can't control. I mean, he's essentially the leader for 1.3 billion Catholics, and he believes in the things that Christianity teaches us, and it is at odds with MAGA. So I would not be surprised if Trump eventually doesn't try to make this about him and creates a new enemy with this new Pope, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.